So today I'm going to be bringing you guys into the hair salon, and I have a client who has a very clean haircut. It's a center middle part, and he's got a little bit longer hair on the sides and the top. So I want to bring you in and I want to show you guys the step-by-step process to this haircut here. So come on with me. Welcome in, everybody. So my client here threw me for a loop. He is actually shaving his head today. He told me he's joining the army and he will not be keeping the middle part. So sorry you don't get to see me cut a middle part, but still wanted to record it. He was in, I had the camera ready to go, so here we are. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take a number 6 to the top. I'm going to just leave it like a long buzz so we can see how he likes it. And if he wants to bring it any bit shorter, we can, but I'm going to start with this right here. So now I'm going to start to cut into the parietal ridge. I really just want to get the bulk out. This is a number 4. I'm not going to be doing a 4 on the sides. With the joining the army, the requirements are going to be a lot tighter on the sides, so I'm going to just remove the bulk and then we're going to move down a little bit shorter once I get rid of the bulk. So now that we have the bulk removed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 1.5 and I'm going to start to bring it up halfway. I'm going to create an even line here, but slowly start to flick away at the heaviness up in the top there. So I'm definitely not done yet, but I always like to show my client the mirror halfway through the process to see if they want to make any changes to it. And I'm glad I did because he ended up actually wanting to go a little bit shorter. So I always recommend to the barbers to show your clients the mirror in the middle of the process as well. And if your barber doesn't do this, just simply ask them for the mirror. It's not going to hurt their feelings. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a 4 to it, and I'm going to take it down a little bit further for him. So I convinced my client to go a little bit shorter on the side, so now I'm going to take a 1.5. I'm going to bring it up pretty high because when you're joining the military, you want your hair very, very, very short. They're going to be very strict on this, so I convinced him to go a little bit tighter. So now that I got the base built, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to take a number 2, and I'm going to go up, and I'm going to start to slightly remove this heavy line here. So although I'm not completely done blending, I'm going to take my 1.5, I'm going to open it, and I'm going to start to flick away at the darkness there. So pay attention to the way that I'm flicking my clipper up. I'm not digging it into his head anymore because right now I'm just trying to get away the dark spots. I don't want to create another line. So now I still have a dark spot right here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to go up, and just like I showed you before, I'm not going to dig into it too deep. I'm just going to start to flick at it away. Just kind of use the clipper as an eraser. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to just keep moving all the way until I get to the other side of his head. And so there we have it. I'm just coming around to the final side here, doing the last final touch-ups here, but overall it's looking pretty good. So before I begin the edge work, one more time, I'm just going to show the client the mirror. I'm going to make sure that he likes everything that he sees before we continue to move forward, making sure I don't need to cut it down any further. And he's happy, so let's move on. With a military haircut, it's out of the question you're getting a taper in the back. They absolutely do not want any hair on your collar, so I convinced them that we were going to skin away the back and taper it away completely. Okay, so now that we got our line set, what I'm going to do is open up my clipper and I'm going to start to fade away that back line there, creating about an inch gap, flicking away all the hair, getting rid of the bulk. Now that I have my first guideline set, I'm going to take a number 1, I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to start to flick up, creating another guideline. This is just the technique that I like. You don't have to do it like this. This is just what I prefer. So now I'm going to take my half guard, and I'm going to start to flick away this line right in the middle here, just to get the bulk out of the way. Then I'm going to run through and I'm going to get the skin line. Okay, so now for the fun part. Now I'm going to flick away the bottom skin line. So I'm going to take my clipper and I'm going to close it all the way. I'm going to slightly start to flick up just to get away that hard line that you see on the bottom there. Working my way up little by little, opening the lever as I continue up. So I'm not a fan of this heavy line up in here. So I'm going to take my half and I'm going to start to go in, flick it away, make it a little bit lighter just so the transition looks a little bit smoother. So I'm going to go up in and just get these little divots here, get every little touch-up spot that I can. Before I edge up the sideburns, I'm definitely going to take the bulkiness down. They're way too thick. Now I'm going to run through, create a sharp line, bring his sideburns up a little bit. They're a little crooked, but I'll go back and fix that later. Some clean, sharp lines are an absolute must. So now running around the ears, I'm going to make sure that there is not one single hair because his sergeant will scream at him if there's any hair on the ear. So I'm going to make sure it's all nice and tight with some sharp lines here. So I'm going to really take a full look at his haircut, so I'm going to spin him around, let him take a full look at it. And now I'm going to ask him if he wants a sharp hairline or he wants it a little bit more natural. And he decided that he wants it a little bit more natural, so I'm going to show you right now how I do that. So not everyone likes a super sharp line, so there's another way you can do this with scissors where you just kind of flick away the long hairs and kind of give it like a natural taper look instead of a sharp line. I'm going to do this on both sides here until we can create a look that he's happy with. Okay, so I'm just going to go over the ears with a straight razor, make sure that it's super clean and he won't be getting screamed at once he goes in. This one's self-explanatory. Got to get rid of the neck hair. I try to go way below the collar just so nobody has any little loose hairs sticking out. This is something that your clients will appreciate very, very much if you do this for them. Got to shave it all the way down to the grain. Grab my full shaver and make sure it's all gone. Now I'm going to go nice and heavy on the talcum powder. This is going to get all them little loose baby hairs off. Make sure he's not itchy when he leaves the shop. Nice and clean. We did a lot of shaving here, so I'm going to grab the alcohol. I'm going to spray him down real good so he's nice and clean. Now for the big reveal. I always stress to you guys, make sure your barber is showing you the mirror. This is extremely important. You want to make sure you know what the back of your head looks like. To the barbers watching, always show them the mirror. Show them throughout the haircut. Show them at the end of the haircut. This way there's no complications. Nobody's unhappy. Everybody's satisfied. And there you have it. We ended up doing a 4 on the top and a 1.5 on the sides. Faded with the back, squared the sideburns. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If this helped you out and you enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell button for the notifications when I drop new videos. Thanks for joining, y'all. Okay, so as you guys saw, my client threw me for a little bit of a surprise here. I did not expect him to come in and tell me that he wanted to shave his head, but he's going into the Army, so he kind of had to, and I wanted to record it anyway because I had the time. So remember to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button as well so you can be notified when I drop new videos. Thanks for joining, YouTube.